Welcome to another episode of Rusted Rides. Today we are working on a buddy's 98 OBS Chevy with a few surprises hiding beneath the surface. We will also touch on how one oversight can end up costing hundreds. Let's get into it.
So you probably got at least a couple $100 in tools in here, right? That you don't want paint overspray on?
Yeah. Well, the toolbox alone is around 12 grand.
Well, found a hole.
Yeah, that's alright.
It's Dean's glory hole. Welcome back to another episode. I'm with my buddy Dean in his shop, and as you can see, I am heavily spoiled today. I didn't have to tape anything, didn't have to do any body work. You've been doing this for about a year and a half now. You started on this project?
On the body portion of it, yes.
1998 GMC that got in a little rollover incident about 4 years ago, and he's been many years now, put all new body on it, and I've even got a rust-free cab except for the roof because I already had to put a roof skin on it. And it's got Ford axles. What year is the engine in it?
They're all 98, so it's a 98 24 valve Cummins with the NV 4500 transmission, and then the truck itself is a 98 GMC 2500 HT. It used to have a 6.5 diesel.
This should be a lot better than the 6.5 diesel. As you can see, you've done a lot more than just pulling the door handles out of it. Oh, I never get this spoiled. That is for sure. Because, you know, when I'm working on my own projects, I always got someone else's lined up. Another paying job, and someone else wants theirs painted. So I'm never fortunate enough to take the time to do it to my own stuff, to fully dismantle them and go this length on a body job. And 90% of the time when I'm doing other people's stuff, they're cheap. They don't want to pay for this quality of work. Where'd you learn how to do body work?
Do you want the truth?
You can make something up.
I've always had a knack for finessing panels and making sure they're straight. I like taking care of my vehicles. Years of basically being in the automotive industry and seeing what can happen on accidents and how you could make shift a repair or properly repair it. So I learned a lot that way.
Excellent. Well, we're gonna do just a quick paint tutorial. We're gonna have the full video up at some point here once it's all done. This video has been about a year and a half in the making. So from the time of the rollover to the point we are now, and then after this video, we're gonna put it all together and get the whole process, see it going down the road. So, I guess we'll get painting, won't we?
Yeah, there's one more thing. I'd like to thank Cam for showing up today. It's been a long process, and he's given me a lot of pointers to get me to this stage. Definitely work in progress. Let's get it painting.
Yeah, hopefully I don't mess it up. Did you find that fly? We got a fly buzzing around in here.
I think we got it.
Did you step on it?
I put him in a paper towel and shot him outside, you know, for the environmentalists. I did the right thing.
Oh dear. What glorious color are we using today? What's that called? Emerald green? Omni base coat?
A very heavy metallic green, dark green. There's a couple versions of this paint. There's a lighter. I just wanted back to the factory, so being a metallic.
Oh yeah, it's like the factory color. I've never used Omni before. I've used Omni clear coat, not Omni base coat. So this should be fun.
Definitely smells potent.
Hopefully the Iwata gets along good with it. Perfect. Let's mix it up.
The OBS Chevy came after the square body trucks and was internally called the GMT 400. Its production ran from 1988 to 1998. After its run, it got the nickname OBS, which stands for Old Body Style, once it was replaced by the GMT 800.
Oh, here we are 5 coats later. It's fair to mention, and I don't think I've ever mentioned it before, if you're using dark metallic colors like this, you'll want to use a black seal coat primer. Because first coat, you can see a lot of gray. Second coat, you can still see gray coming through. Third coat, and then by the 4th coat, when Dean was on his way to town to get another gallon of base coat, that's when we knew really should have had black seal primer. But it's looking smooth, it's looking consistent, and we're ready to get Dean's clear coat on it.
We're using the Rouge. You've seen it on Cam's channel multiple times.
Yeah, $135 for the whole kit. That's from Baseline Fender in Sutton. I've mentioned them before.
It's probably gone up because I've had these for about half a year or more.
Nope. Oh, maybe. I don't know, I haven't used it for a bit.
Yep.
So yeah, well, let's lay some clear on and see how it turns out.
So, as Cam mentioned, they had to buy an extra gallon of base coat because they used the wrong primer and it wasn't covering well at all. That one mistake cost an extra $800 in paint. They will get into it a bit more in a little while. Have you ever made any mistakes like that? Let us know in the comments.
You happy with it?
I love it.
So you got a lot of reassembly to do.
Yeah.
Well, good luck. It's green anyway,
Looks beautiful.
so I'll let you put some stuff back together and
Awesome job, Cam.
get to work.
All right, I spy with my little eye a truck that is painted green. Happy with it?
Oh yeah.
All right, so, are you inspecting the roof?
There's a little bit of dust in it, but it's not tiger stripey.
One of the biggest mistakes we made is airline's clean, everything's clean, but I forgot the filter. I have a air dryer and a filter on the compressor, but I don't know, there's a little pieces of plastic and it's like a newer airline to me. So maybe some particles in the airline got through the gun and went on the paint. It's very minute, but yeah. I can notice it, so I'm gonna have to do some sanding and buffing.
Overall, like, I mean, the cheaper clear coat obviously is a little bit of shrinking, but you know, he's a master at cutting and polishing, which when you hire a painter like me, that's a good thing.
We all know what shrinkage is like.
Yeah, especially in the wintertime.
I sprayed the high build and it was like white, and I told him, I'm just like, this is not happening. So I had to re-prime it and do a final sand with gray because I still couldn't find black primer. Jeez. I should have just waited out because this has been a long process, and usually a gallon of base will do this whole job and everything else. We went through a gallon and I had to go back for another gallon.
Now this here, like we stopped putting it in between, because I mean GM does this from factory where it's a little bit thin where you're not going to see it. It just has to have paint on it to say that you did. But this right here, this is 4 coats of, what is it? Yeah, we were getting down to the end of the first gallon of base coat. This is 4 coats. Jeez. Now even like, I've got away with it. You go back a couple of videos, like remember doing the Challenger, spread, like laying it down on that, going, it's just not covering that good. That borderline should have been black primer. Yeah. This definitely should have been black primer. And I mean, if you're doing a budget job and you don't want to go out and you don't want to drop $500 on a complete primer kit, you could at least get a little bit of black paint and you can tint your gray primer to at least be darker. It makes a tremendous difference. While I was spraying on the base coat, he had to bolt into town. Luckily he was able to, and he had to buy a whole other gallon of base coat.
I can tell you how much I really am into this. So sanding supplies, buying different block sandings because I've been out of auto body for a while and everything I had was like hand-me-downs or garbage. Anyway, so blocks, sandpaper, obviously around 3 to 5. Then initial primer, epoxy primer, Bondo, the base, the clear, another 2,500. So I'm about 3,000 in supplies with tape, masking, everything, $3,000 in.
Jeez, wow.
So it is a lot.
So the moral of the story and the entire idea of this video, because normally, you know, our videos are start to finish. This is just a paint tutorial. Thought we'd put it up. Is make sure that the primer you use is as close to the color that you're spraying as possible.
Yeah.
If it's like an in-between, like the Challenger with Plum Crazy Purple, that I think black would have been a bit much, but I think that tinting the primer, at least tinting it darker, will help a lot. Because if this was black seal primer, it would have been, what, 2 coats of base.
Yes, about that, because actually we have an example right here. Grab those little pieces there. This was 0 primer, and it was original black. I literally scuffed it down, and he primed it. And that is probably 3 coats. Because we did this 8 or 9 coats, and this was literally 3 coats, and it covered real well. So that's the difference, like 3 coats with this, and if you look behind the cab, 3 coats with that, it's a completely different story for coverage.
Wow. Okay. Well, hey, you know what? Everything looks like it turned out pretty good, even with all the challenges. And the bodywork looks straight, but you know what? We can't really tell exactly until we get the box and the doors on.
Are you ready for it?
Let's do it. Should we?
Yep.
All right.
All right.
Work time.
And just keep an eye on the cab. I'm just centering it out. Oh, shit. That's one thing about these kind of
Hold on.
finicky.
I got my hand in between it.
Yep. I'm just gonna suck this filler neck all the way up. Because usually it gets caught halfway. That's low.
It's gonna come this way.
Yeah, the filler neck's gonna push it a little bit. And then I'll just lift it. No, you good? Yeah, we're good. Good.
Miraculous. I think the color even matches.
Yep.
I hope so.
I was worried
I really
about
hope
that.
so.
I was worried.
Yep.
That's way nicer way of putting a box on, let me tell you.
This thing's like nothing.
You
Butter.
want me to get a side of that?
Like butter.
I'm walking behind him so it looks like I'm helping.
Okay. So the hammer's there.
All right.
I'll get you to help me set it in position. It's all good. It's corner.
Where do you want me?
I want you on that side. And then I need you to guide me in the holes.
There was nothing wrong with that, but it's just hilarious.
It's how you have to say it.
I'm trying to get an angle here.
Yeah, it's almost impossible.
I'm pointing at nothing.
Yeah. You can get the finale job.
Yeah.
Here, it's your truck, man. You beat on it as hard as you want.
Okay. I don't want to beat it.
In this video.
There we go.
It's the same.
Wow.
Wow. Even the body lines match.
Let's do it again. Passenger.
Nice.
And it's good.
You're clear.
100%. So I'm gonna rotate. Small shot problems.
The doors are not horrible to install, but not as easy as bolt-in. Dean had all new pins and bushings, so there was no adjustment. Once the doors are on, they just lined up and fit beautifully. Pins are harder to install though. The third door, or suicide door, was easy enough, good access, and just tapped in with a light hammer. The driver's and passenger doors took a little bit more persuading. With a bigger hammer and a large punch, in this case a massive bolt, Dean was able to tap the hinge pins in. Be careful if you are worried about the paint in the hinge area. In this case, we were worried, but we still didn't bother using any cardboard or anything to protect the paint. Nice.
Yep.
Nice. Jeez.
See, even dust. After we painted it, there's little crevices all inside this channel,
They're just letting dust out?
and it's coming out and going in.
At least it didn't land in the paint.
Yeah.
It didn't land in the paint.
Yeah, good
And
call.
I cleaned everything. I blew it out multiple times.
Spit some tires on it.
All right, tire time.
All right. All right, so with the doors on, the wheels on, you think you can turn this thing over?
It should fire right up.
Okay, all right. That does not sound like a Chevy. What do we have here?
The man's got dual exhaust on his Cummins.
So this is definitely not stock.
Stock as it comes.
It's stock, but not purebred.
No, not purebred.
Okay, so this truck has had a lot of work done to it. If you guys want to see the follow-up video, we're gonna do a full build video on this, and you can find out all the intricacies of this thing, because there's a lot. I'll show you a few things, but there's a lot of stuff going on here. Fill us in. This is not a stock Chev.
So it's all stock parts off different vehicles. Let's put it that way. So the body is a 98 Chevy. The frame is a 98 Chevy. The engine and transmission is out of a 98.5 24 valve Cummins.
Okay.
So Dodge Cummins. Basically, I've built this truck to last. This is my dream truck. And the reason I built it this way, with the Ford axles, so this is a Dana 60 front and 10.5 Sterling in the rear. All factory parts, so the suspension, the bucket, and the whole radius arm setup is factory out of the truck, installed on the Chevy frame.
Okay.
I made custom engine mounts and a custom transmission / radius arm mount. So it's quite in depth. Just that little bit took a good amount of time to fabricate and make fit.
Yeah. No kidding.
It fits in real well. It looks as factory as you can make it.
What kind of spark plugs you got in it?
All right,
All
full video is yet to come, but thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.